In Lesson 2, students are asking how does the COVID-19 virus spread from person to person? They analyze patient charts to determine patterns of symptoms and to think about how those symptoms relate to transmission of the virus. Students will come to this lesson with a wide range of background knowledge about symptoms, and some students will have been more directly impacted by COVID-19 in their families and communities. Some students will have experienced watching friends or family members with COVID-19 or will have been sick themselves. Some students may have been to funerals or experienced personal losses from COVID-19. Even if time has passed since the peak of the pandemic, these memories remain. It will be important to support students' ideas and experiences about mild to severe cases and help the students recognize through examining the patient charts that symptoms can vary widely from person to person, but also share some commonalities. From the patient charts, we realize that the patients are all connected, and students can then use a contact tracing strategy to map how the COVID-19 virus was transmitted throughout the network of people in hopes of finding common places or events where the virus might have spread between people. We see from this activity that people are most likely to get sick with COVID-19 if they come in contact with a person who is infected with the virus. Of course, this does not tell us exactly how and why the virus spreads between people. In this lesson, we use content area opportunities to explore this question and these questions deeper. Take the time to revisit the driving question board because it works. It helps students to sort of put the pieces together. You or your students will choose one content area opportunity to dive into more deeply.
These content area opportunities paths are focused on physical science, life science, and earth and space science. In the physical science content area opportunity, students build a deeper understanding of how the virus is transmitted between people. That is, how the patients whose charts the class analyze pass the virus from one to another. This focuses on the dominant transmission mechanisms of respiratory droplets and aerosol transmission. Students investigate how respiratory droplets, as modeled by a spray bottle or flicked water, are larger than and do not typically travel as far as aerosols. In the life science content area opportunity, students may wonder how the patients in the charts were infected by and became sick because of the COVID-19 virus. They will jigsaw readings about 3 well-known viruses: influenza A and B, herpes simplex virus type 1, which can cause cold sores, and Epstein-Barr virus, which is responsible for mononucleosis. These readings focus on how their respective viruses invade cells, the symptoms the viruses cause, and their treatments. These viruses all contain genetic information in the form of DNA or RNA inside a capsid. When viruses enter the body, they attach to the cell and use the cell to replicate more viruses. Viruses may spread through different methods, including through the air, direct contact, or bodily fluids. In the earth and space science content area opportunity, students build on their understanding of transmission by investigating how pandemics begin. By analyzing past pandemics, students realize that past pandemics often included some living organism transmitting the virus to humans. They also come to recognize that certain activities increase the risk of humans getting zoonotic diseases, and zoonotic diseases often transmit from their origins to a host to humans in similar ways. Humans can take actions to decrease the risk of future pandemics caused by zoonotic diseases. At the end of each content area opportunity, students revisit their transmission models from the beginning of the lesson and update them with new thinking from the lesson. To wrap up the lesson and navigate into Lesson 3, students complete prompts in their SEL journals, reflecting on the ways in which activities impact the risks of transmission of the COVID-19 virus, and bring back some of these ideas to kick off the next lesson. In Lesson 3, students take the strategies they brainstorm to stop the spread of the COVID-19 virus and use infographics about each strategy to analyze several ways that students can act to slow the spread of viruses and gather important data about how well these strategies work and who can access them. Students then reason about how these strategies combined can affect the probability of viruses spreading between individuals and consider how the strategies would work across communities. In the middle of the lesson, there is an extension opportunity for students to test effectiveness of different mask materials and masking strategies. To navigate into the next lesson, students brainstorm what should be included in a simulation that would help the class analyze how viruses spread through communities.